What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday, wherever you guys are at. It's almost at the end of the week, and you guys get to enjoy another 2 hour episode of the Jay and Trey podcast. And we are streaming live through StreamYard. StreamYard is the home studio of the TNC Sports Talk channel. If you want to create your own podcast, YouTube videos, or even virtual business meetings, check out StreamYard.com. Also, like to give a shout out to Place It. Create your own mock-ups, logos, and videos through Place It. Placements by Envato. Head on over to placeit.net and give them a try. Also, like to give a shout out to Canva. Create our little commercial break videos that you see each and every day, and that is going to be available through Canva. 1 second as we get in, we all kind of get going. All right. Just making sure Jake's good on the other end. Also, like to give a shout out to Epidemic Sound. Discover your world class artists, composers, and bands, and find your perfect soundtrack. Give your social media accounts the music they deserve to epidemicsound.com for more information. Last but not least, like to give a quick shout out to Stream Elements. With one click of a button, easily create and start selling your merchandise through Stream Elements. It's that simple, you guys. Go to the extremeelements.com, create an account. It's absolutely free. They'll give you the template, upload whatever you want on the templates, hit publish, and then there you go. Send the people to your domain. They will shop. Customers will buy. They'll make it to order. Stream Elements will send it out, and we're good to go. So streamelements.com for more information there. All right. Hey, all that stuff is said and done. We are ready to kick off another 2 hour episode of the J and Dre podcast. We got Amy Peduto coming up here at 10:30. So I know Jake's getting ready. Let's start the J and Dre podcast now. On great friends over here on the Jay and Trey podcast. We're streaming live through StreamYard, and it is January 20th, 2022, on this fine Thursday morning. Good morning to everybody in the yard. I got Jake ready to go here in a moment. He's, getting, his stuff ready down in the chats. He's excited because, hey, we got a very important interview with Amy Peduto coming up here in just a few minutes. We are live on YouTube. We thank you guys for tuning in. Please comment down below, get involved if you guys can. Love to hear your guys' comments and replies to what we have going on. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button while you're at it. Can't stress that enough. If not, hey, listen, if you can't watch us, that's fine. You guys could always listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. There's absolutely no reason why you guys can't tune us in and watch us. You guys could also check us out on social media accounts at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at TNC Sports Talk. All right. So we got that done. Got that all out of the way. Could put that paperwork away for today until tomorrow. We got Trey joining us for the weekend. We got Juice coming up on Saturday. We got Amy Peduto this morning, coming up at 10:30. Now, I get to have some fun this morning. And there's a reason why I get to have some fun this morning. And we're going to open up our show with Pick on Jake. So we do great group messages, and we get a message on last night about 8:30 from Trey, which, by the way, Jake has gotten Trey. Trey has been a diehard WWE fan. And it's kind of hard, like when you're set into your own ways, it is difficult to kind of sit there and get used to something else. When WWE's been on TV for such a long time, you're so used to WWE, and another platform becomes available, it becomes a little difficult to get adjusted to that, or at least keep an
Mhm.
open mind. Jake, over the last couple of months, has been really pushing Trey to get into AEW. So I get a text message, or we all get a text message on last night around 8:30. Now, keep in mind, I had some other things I had to do. Did not get into work last yesterday. I'll be going back today, which will feel great. But so we had but Jake was at work, and Trey says, and I'm not going to say the first two words, but two Canadian destroyers and couldn't put out Orange Cassidy. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Because Jake quickly responds, oh man, don't spoil it, please. And now I'm reading this and I'm like, here we go. Because if you don't know nothing about Jake, he has a tendency to spoil things for everyone else on the show. I'm telling you, Jake, you sit there and I mean, I know you don't intentionally do it, but you sit there and you have a tendency to spoil things out and tell us. Like, you'll text us all the time. Oh, Brock this, Roman that. I mean, I could scroll back through the messages and show you,
No,
and it
I
ruins
can
it.
honestly
Well,
say.
I mean,
First of all, I will say this: I did not really expect Trey to do that. And while I was working, I mean, it's almost about closing time, and I was like, please don't spoil it because the last thing I want to do is be spoiled. Especially, like my main goal was to come home, relax, shower, and then just watch the show and try to erase all the spoilers. But then you and Trey kept nitpicking, and oh man, I tell you one thing, I will never spoil anything for you guys again. I already learned my lesson after last night. I I
okay, so
I could you
this is
not?
how I conceived it. At the beginning, I thought, okay, you
Mhm.
know what? It is about closing time. And I know how Jake is when it comes down to closing time. Like, your phone blowing up is not okay. And so at first I thought maybe, like, okay, maybe it was okay because it's closing time. I'm like, holy crap, maybe we should wait. And as soon as he gets off, blow up his phone about teasing him. But then, like, I was gonna stop. I really was. I was like, man, I'm just not gonna get into this, and I was just gonna, blow it out.
You
But
could have stayed out of the way
then
though, but you didn't.
I could have. You're right, but then you kept on coming back and says, "Please stop spoiling it." And I knew how big this episode was because Jon Moxley was returning. We talked about it yesterday during our show, um, and we're actually going to talk about it here in a moment. But I mean, that was like, I was just going to stay out of it, and then you keep on coming, and I'm like, I'm not going to spoil, Jon Moxley. I'm not going to let you know what happened, but then I got the idea, and I'm like, can we mess with you? Can I mess with him with the Briscoes coming up? Because I knew if you missed the Briscoes live, which anyone listening, by the way, Briscoes, no, they're not part of the AEW quite yet. I say that openly. We'll talk about them later in our show. But I'm like, if I could mess with you with the Briscoes and you missed them live, I know you would have flipped shits. I mean,
Yeah, let's just say, which thankfully, during closing time, we always make sure we focus on a lot of stuff. Ask Courtney, she knows because she blew up my phone whenever y'all seen what's his name from New Japan, Jordan. Either way,
Clearwater.
y'all kept Jordan Clearwater, yeah, and then all of a sudden, then you two last night, I'm like, this is my second day back after being gone from COVID and everything, and yet first Courtney, now you two. I'm gonna have to get some sort
Yeah.
of revenge on you guys. If not today, then later
Well,
on soon.
I mean, listen. I mean, let's be honest, and I love the updates. I can't watch Impact Wrestling. We don't have
Access.
access TV on our, cable streaming services. So if
Yeah.
you give me updates on Impact, great, amazing. Um,
Mm.
if something happened on WWE, that's okay. What I would recommend you doing just I guess as a critique and like a little nitpicking, um, if there's something that is really, hey, you have to pay attention to this or you have to watch it, then just tell us in the graph, hey, make sure you watch this segment particularly because it's amazing. And then that will give me a reason to come back when I get home and watch it. Because here's the thing, I get home by 10. I'm trying to
Mhm.
get ready a little bit for the next day's show, and I mean, try to do other things, maybe cleaning up the house or, trying to maybe relax and play video games. I don't necessarily watch every single second of wrestling of every single episode. So, if
Mhm.
I miss, if there's this particular episode or a segment that you need us to watch that you thought was outstanding, then show it to me because there's also a difference in between being told one segment to being
Mhm.
actually watching that segment. You know what I'm saying? Like you sometimes you have to actually watch it to believe it instead of, hearing about it.
Yeah, I definitely will keep that in mind for sure. I already learned my lesson. I already learned it already, but yeah, I didn't really expect Trey, and I mean, I knew you was going to do something, but Trey, out of all people, I didn't really expect.
Well, I
But
was surprised that Trey. It all started because Trey sat there and texted about AEW, and I'm like, "Wait, you're watching AEW?" I mean, I'm trying to get him to
yeah,
watch NXT 2.0 because as a fan of wrestling, NXT 2.0 is not that bad. And matter of fact,
it's
I
not.
think a 2 hour of NXT is better than 3 hours of Raw.
Well, not only that, but yet, I think once when he wakes up, he starts focusing on the big news that was announced today as far as WWE 2K22 is concerned. We already know now who's on the cover and
That was
the
yesterday,
GM
by the way.
mode.
You missed out. That was
Well,
yesterday. No.
sorry, either way though, they started. I think showing some sort of some teasing of a trailers for the game today. So
Right.
definitely, I look forward to that. It looks like you can be able to get a
So
chance to
people
wrestle in
are.
the Thunderdome.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so there's a lot of great things coming out. Well, I'm hoping there's a lot of great things coming out of 2K22. I mean, Rey Mysterio being on the cover. Um, and the GM mode that everyone's been dying for it to come back. Obviously, the new arenas. I've heard like the SmackDown Fist that everyone used to love during the Attitude Era, right? Or not
mhm.
Attitude Era, the
The
Ruthless
Ruthless
Aggression
Aggression
Era.
era.
Yeah, everyone loved that, and I think it's finally coming back as well as the Thunderdome. So they're gonna start being creative, and you kind of think about it. It's like, okay, well, you spent 2 years after a crappy game that you made back in 2000, 20 or 19.
Hmm.
And you not only it was supposed to come out last fall, and now you're pushing it out till springtime. And I'm like, you better succeed, and you better excel. I guess the biggest concern I have is the roster.
All thing I can really tell you is that I've had a fair share of buying games that were pretty much terrible. I remember spending $100 on like the latest NASCAR game,
Right.
and there wasn't really much you could do as far as like online stuff. There was no private lobbies. Yes, I mean they
Mhm.
had like Daryl Waltrip and Matt Kenseth, but still yet though, I mean it was a pretty much $100 waste of crap is what it was. So I'm hoping
Right.
that 2K22 isn't going to be the same thing. I mean, and plus they're going to end up adding legends, but I would like to see if we can
Mhm.
get some NXT stars as well. I mean, we
I think
haven't got
that's
a
the
chance to
main
see that.
focus is NXT, NXT UK. Those athletes, you're going to see Walter, aka Gunther. You're going to see a lot more of those
Imperium.
younger guys. So I guess the other rumor, and I'm going to say that this is a rumor that's going around, is that
Hmm.
they're also talking about, how in the NFL game that they do roster updates.
Yeah, kind of like what
Um,
they need to do with WWE.
that's what they're hopefully trying to do with the WWE. Now that's going to be amazing, on top of the creative, suites, and that way, you could kind of like a little patch that gets created where if they hire, if they bring in somebody, they could get their entrance in. And that's one thing, like when I always like I never liked downloading creative suites, from the creative channel on the game, just because you don't
Yeah,
get their move set, you don't get their entrance. It looks amazing, but I mean it's not. necessarily who they are.
I think I think everything's like with PC, you can be able to do all that stuff. But then again, I
Mhm.
mean, for consoles, it's a little bit difficult.
Well, so yeah, we're going to be talking about more about the game here. But I want to make sure that I do want to come back and talk about Jon Moxley's return. It
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
announced was it Monday or Tuesday? It was Tuesday
It
that he was going
was
to be on.
Tuesday.
That he was going to be on AEW Dynamite last night. And I think that's probably why a lot of people tuned in was to watch him. You know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say this though, he looks incredible. He looks amazing. Oh my gosh! I mean, a lot has changed with Moxley. I mean, he looks like a completely different new person.
Right. And I mean, and it's not a bad thing either. Um, so basically, instead of him making a Jurassic return, he ends up getting called out by Ethan Page, which sets him up for a one-on-one competition this Friday on Rampage. Um, which, if you think about it, a match, match 24 hours prior to his title match against in GCW on Saturday. Um,
Hmm
let me tell you this. I really enjoy Moxley coming back. I
hmm
kind of felt like his announcements of returning should have kind of been built up a little
Yeah,
bit. That made sense. And I just don't know if they really necessarily built that up, as they should have. Like they announced 24 hours before Dynamite that he was going to make an appearance, and then they just kind of been social media announcing his appearance on for GCW.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is a huge week for Moxley, and I gotta say, to those who are in fans of the tents, I loved y'all's reaction to Moxley coming out. That was incredible. I think he needed that, and his family needed that, and yeah, they pretty much welcome back with open arms. So,
Hmm.
all I gotta say is, welcome back, Mox. Welcome back.
I'm open for it. It's just for this journey that he took over the last 4 or 5 months
Hmm
from admitting that he has a problem, taking the acknowledgement and the steps to go get help. That and you got to remember when he left, he was he was champion, right?
No, he wasn't. He was not champion.
He wasn't.
He was going to be competing against Brian Danielson in the finals for the full year tournament for the number one contendership.
Okay, so he was on bound for success and huge
Hmm
storylines, and he took himself out of the action, out of the spotlight, so that he could go get the help that he needed on for his family, for his children, for his friends, and and all the above for the fans as well. And now he's coming back. I like I said, I it's more of a nitpicking, and that's fine by me. I'll hold on to that one, and I'll take responsibility. But I really feel like John should have been at least promoted a little bit bigger on these shows leading up to it, because I mean it's great that we're gonna finally see him wrestle on Friday, because if unless you are deep into wrestling and you're gonna go buy GCW, and I know it's not that expensive, but unless you're gonna go buy that pay-per-view, you're not really gonna see him wrestle, unless he's on AEW or Impact at
Yeah,
least.
we'll have to see about that. But all I can say to you is that they'll probably work on the match, once before
Mhm.
everyone files their seats at the Hammerstein. So whatever. So I know he's going to be in good hands with Homicide, and I know Homicide can be able to get a
Right.
chance to work with him even before the match. So I think this is going to be something really awesome to see, and especially when it comes to two veterans such as Mox and Homicide this coming
Right.
weekend for GCW.
Well, I expressed this concern yesterday, and I will go ahead and express it tomorrow with Trey, but when he joins us, along with you know, with him prior to his match on tomorrow night. But hey, you're out of. I don't know. You really don't know how much ring action he's had since his
Hmm
um rehab. right? I mean, he could have been working this past month entirely to get back in the ring. And I know when you're out of like, there's a difference between. I mean, I've told you this before. We all know, but for people who don't know, there's a difference between uh, being physically fit and being in ring physically fit, right? And those are two
Yeah.
separate things. So sometimes being away from the ring for such a quite some time, it can take a toll on you. And now you want to come back in. Everyone's kind of maybe expecting him to go full throttle, and I just don't know necessarily how well he's going to, obviously this match that he's going to have with Ethan Page is a good state, welcome back match. Not only that, but a good preparation match for a upcoming title match with Homicide this weekend. So um I know that's just the key points, and I'm gonna, that I'm concerned about for Jon Moxley.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you, really and truly, considering it has been a while since probably about maybe November or September, the last time I got a chance to see him. So it's going to be a very interesting weekend, to say the least, for if you're a fan of Moxley.
Definitely. So, without further ado, then I think it's probably time to take our first break in the action. We'll come back, and because we got Amy Peduto joining
Hmm.
us at 10:30. We'll come back. We'll kind of talk a little about her and kind of get her going. But um,
Yeah.
2 hours today, man. It's Thursday. It's Thursday morning.
Yep.
I know you look tired. You look like you're beat, to be honest.
I'm all good though.
But
I'm all
are
good.
you
I
nervous
mean,
about
let's
today?
get. Nah, I'm very very excited. Especially with everything that we have in store. I am very very excited.
Yeah. You got your Mountain Dew with you?
Oh, plenty of it, plenty of it.
Oh my goodness. There we go. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, get all prepped up and ready for Amy Peduto right here on the Jay and Trey podcast.
I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again. But life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, running into better times. Go, from my emotions I'll go, running into better times, to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times. Remember I was laughing in all the photos that you took, but now it looks like acting, like we were fiction in a book. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, running into better times. Go, from my emotions I'll go, running into better times, to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times.
All right, let's get our heads on clear.
Alrighty.
We're gonna need it for this upcoming segment. You waking up here? Hey, do me a favor.
Oh yeah,
Do me a favor, Jake. Tell us how we could win a Brian Danielson autograph.
All you gotta do is head over to our TikTok page at TNC Sports Talk. And make sure you guys click over to the pinned post I made. Only thing you have to do is comment, share the video, and follow us. Two winners will be announced on January 29th on the day of the Royal Rumble event. Two winners will be announced for two different Brian Danielson autographs. You guys do not want to miss out. So make sure to head over to our TikTok at TNC Sports Talk with all the info you need.
Alrighty. You feeling good?
I feel great. I will tell you this:
You've been
anytime
talking to me
you
about
get the
this all week
opportunity.
long.
Oh yeah. It's just anytime you get a chance to be able to have the interview with someone who's so incredible when it comes to these fighters. I mean, we had Taylor Starling to Bret Hart to Sandra Arndt, and now we get a chance to interview Amy. I've definitely been preparing myself, especially with how much I've got a chance to talk to Amy over the last couple of days, and I'm very, very excited to say the least.
All right. Well, she's in the studio, and she will be on after this quick advertisement.
That is very, very awesome. Don't forget. But yet, now I get a chance to welcome you guys to the StreamYard studio. She is incredible. She is amazing. She is the one, the only Amy Peduto. Get a chance to welcome her to the StreamYard. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good.
So, are you really excited about your trip to Africa?
I am. I'm like trying to scramble and pack everything still.
So, if you don't mind me asking, where are you heading over to Africa for?
Actually going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So we'll
Ooh.
spend 9 days on that mountain and then a few days after on a safari.
Well, I'm very excited to see it, and I definitely wish you the best of luck. We have a lot of incredible questions, and let's go ahead and get right to it. So, for those of you who don't know, Amy works with an incredible team such as Charleston Muay Thai, and has probably one of the most incredible love when it comes to her team you'll ever see, whether it's on Instagram or anywhere else. She shows how much she loves her team. And the first question I have for you is, how can you describe your relationship with your team?
We do have a very strong team at Charleston Muay Thai, so it's something that's really great to be a part of. I'm just one of them, but there's a lot of us. As you know, you've shared quite a few of my teammates' things too. But yeah, I'm just one of them. We just help each other get stronger and better every day, help each other through fight camps, kind of with anything. We call ourselves a village. It takes a village to put every fighter in the ring. So we think we have one of the strongest ones around.
Y'all definitely do. And if y'all want to check them out, make sure you guys head over to Instagram and check out all things Charleston Muay Thai. How do you help prepare? How do you guys help each other prepare for a fight, especially if you guys fight on the same card?
I mean, we're always training together. A lot of times, a lot of us are on the same cards, and I think that actually makes it easier because then everyone's kind of in that same extra grind as you. So we hold pads for each other every day. We spar together almost every day. We'll go on runs together. I mean, we'll kind of just talk all day to different people about, what's like, how's your camp going? Like how, like, are you running today? Like, do you know of any good meal prep things? Cause I'm sick of what I'm eating or just whatever. And then, as it gets closer, we just kind of all band together and check in on each other. Whether it's just like a text, like, hey, how's it going? How's your weight today? Like, how you feeling? How's your head? Like, a few of us the night before will be on Instagram, Snapchatting each other or whatever while we're like in the sauna or in the bathtub, just like, here I am. So, you kind of feel less alone as you're in your bathtub because, everybody else is suffering in theirs. So it works out. I think with so many of us in so many fights all the time, there's always kind of someone gearing up or gearing down to help you out. So everybody's really good about helping each other out and get ready.
That's definitely truly incredible right there. What has been the biggest struggle in your fighting career?
This is a hard one. I mean, I would say probably the biggest struggle for me is like just kind of proving to myself, I guess, and to this like metaphorical crowd that's in my head of just like, I deserve to be here. I belong here. Like, I earned this. I've never like been an athletic person growing up. Like, I didn't do a bunch of sports. I did sports, but I like quit every sport I ever tried after the first season. So I was kind of just the one that just like floated around, was like, oh, I'll try this. Like, oh, I'm not very good at it. So I just quit. And then I found this, and this is kind of the first thing I like stuck with. But I mean, especially in the beginning, there's a lot of people on your team and in your gym and in the fight world that have been doing sports their whole life and are very athletic, and things come very naturally and easily. And maybe you watch them like progress faster than you, or pick something up faster than you, or whatever it is, So
Yeah.
there's definitely been times I've had to like convince myself or work harder, whatever, and be like, I belong here. Like, this is my place. I deserve to be here. And I mean, I've been doing this 6 years. I think only in the last year, maybe, has it like really blown up and been like, oh, okay, this girl, like, who is she? Like, okay, she's pretty good. Like, she knows what she's doing. And for me to kind of like believe in it, be like, okay, like, I am supposed to be here. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's taken a while, but we're here now. So
I mean, you definitely look incredible, especially when it comes to like your last couple of fights, and you definitely been making an impact, to say the least, for sure. So,
thank you.
well, also on fight day, what do you do to prepare yourself? Because I mean, there's a lot. I know there's a lot of things going through your mind, but how do you prepare yourself on your fight day?
I mean, fight day, there's really not a heck of a lot. It's like hurry up and wait is, what everyone says, because it's like hectic and chaotic, but you're just sitting around most of the time, like waiting for the next thing to happen. So, I mean, we'll get up it depends where we are, whether we're at home or on the road somewhere, but usually we'll get up, get coffee and some kind of little breakfast, depending when the fight is. And then usually just pack up and head out to the venue. You usually have to be there pretty early for physicals and like paperwork, and sit around for 6 more hours just doing who knows what. So, I mean, we just kind of hang out with our group and try not to think about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Some people really like go over exactly what they're going to do in their head or try to visualize stuff, or that just makes me like too nervous and too overthought. So I mostly just try to not think about anything until I walk out. So I'll just hang out with, whoever's around, and just, listen to what they're talking about and laugh, make some jokes, just try to hurry up and wait.
I respect that for sure. So yeah, everyone has a lot of goals that they want to be able to achieve this year. So yeah, what is your biggest goal for this year?
I definitely want a few more fights for the year. I think we fought 6 times last year, so that was probably the most we've ever done in a year. So hopefully a handful more this year. I'd really like to fight for a title. I'd really like to get a belt this year. So I haven't done that yet, but it's on the list.
You want to win some gold, want to have some gold around your waist. I definitely respect that. So yet this next question is, pretty much going to be difficult for you, considering that you've had many, many incredible memories in your fighting career. But do you have a favorite memory in your fighting career?
There's been a lot. I mean, probably just our last 2 fights are probably the best so far. I'm sure they'll keep getting better this year, so we'll see. But our fight in November for Conflict. That was in Charleston, in our hometown, and we had 6 of us on the card. So that was a really fun time to have, all your friends and family and everyone there, like, get to see what you do live, because they've just like heard about it or watched you train, and they never actually get to see it until this year. We haven't had any in our hometown, so we always travel. But yeah, we had 6 of us on there, and it was, we had 7 of us. So we went 6-1. So it was really pretty incredible to like go out there and just run the house and prove why we're the best. And I mean, not only did I win, my teammates all like smashed it. So it's just a really great time. I then fought in December, and there was 4 or 5 of us on that one. That one was actually on my birthday. I turned 31 on the day that I fought in the ring. And I fought up a girl who has a lot more experience than me, and she's very well known in the fighting community. And I probably shouldn't, I wouldn't have been matched with her normally. I think I don't really know exactly the situation that led us to be there, but there we were. So I was in front of a big name with a lot of experience, and that was a test for me, and I went out and killed it. And so I was very proud of that one. Probably a lot of people have seen the picture of me hugging my teammate, Kayla Hennessy, just bawling, just because I could not believe it that we went out and did it. And me and Anna were like the last few fights on the show, and the judges were a little sketch that show. So we weren't really sure how it was going to go for us. But we both pulled it out, and we both won. And that was a really incredible moment too. Just like, we fucking did it. Like, how? Like,
I remember on that day, I was like so hyped because not only was it your birthday, but it was like, yes, like she got it done on her birthday. Like, let's go. And
yeah,
oh man.
it was a great day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you've been making an impact in a lot of different ways. And so what I'm trying to be able to ask you is, what type of impact do you hope you make, especially your time in fighting?
My goals for fighting keep changing. I never really thought that I even would fight, honestly, when I started. And then it was like, well, I've been training, so, might as well try. And then it was like, okay, well, I did a few. I might as well, shoot for 10. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm at 10, so I'll keep going. And then it was like, now a lot of people are like, are you going to go pro? And I'm like, well, we're going to keep going until we don't enjoy it anymore. And if that leads to going pro, then it does. And that's awesome. And if not, then it doesn't. But I don't know, mainly I hope people see me fight and see me just like, whether it's in real life or on Instagram or whatever, and just like a normal person, and is like, hey, if she can do this, then I can. Like, you just have to make the right decisions and work hard and, put in everything you have. But I wasn't born some gifted, like, athletic superstar. Like, I'm not, I didn't come in to this being anything like extraordinary. I really had to work harder than most people, honestly, to make it happen. And that's always been like my work ethic in life. It's just to try to be the best and try to like do the most I can. But I just hope other people see my story and, give it a shot, or see me climb a mountain and be like, man, that girl's crazy. But like, I'm just some normal person who wants to do some cool things. So, if you do, just do it. And people all the time are like, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. When I moved here, I just up and quit my job and I moved here, and everyone's like, I wish I had the, guts to just, take my life and move. And I was like, just do it. You just have to make the decision one day. And then once you decide and you put yourself there, then you got to do what you got to do to get it done. But it all starts with kind of a simple decision and small decisions each day to like, okay, I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to skip the fast food. I'm going to eat good, or I'm going to, not snooze my alarm today. I'm going to get up and go for a run. It's all those tiny little decisions that build and build and build throughout every day that kind of get you where you're going down the road. So I don't know.
For a lot of people who don't know, Amy has encouraged, not only her teammates, but she's also really encouraged myself on the Fighting Now. She has been a tremendous person, and this final question I have before we get to those in the comments, and I also have something very special for you after we're done with the questions. So, what encouraged you to keep going, especially through the rough days?
Well, really, it's exactly what you just said. It's all the comments and shoulders to lean on of my team and the people that watch and believe in me. And I mean, there's a lot of people that really do believe so strongly in you and support you so much that on the hard days when you're throwing yourself a little pity party and you're like, oh, I can't do it, it's hard. To think of all those people who are putting all their mental energy into believing and supporting you and encouraging you, and you don't want to let them down. So I mean, do the best you can. And I mean, that's really it. I'll go back and read, I have all these old notes on my bulletin board that people write me on fight days from my teammates and people at the gym and my friends. And they'll write little letters and I'll save them all. And then if I'm having a day when I'm poor me, this is so hard, I just go back and read them and be like, okay, put your big girl pants on and man the fuck up and let's go.
Yeah.
Kind of get it back. So, I mean, it's the same thing that I've talked with you about before, just
Oh, yeah. Before we get to what I have special in store for you, let's go ahead and read two questions from the comments. A little bit nervous here. So the first question is, what made you want to climb Mount? I can't even be able to read that.
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro, yes.
I've always liked hiking. That's the other thing that I really love besides fighting. And so a few years ago in 2019, I kind of made a impulsive decision, I suppose, to go to Nepal and climb up to Everest Base Camp. And that was, I mean, I had lived here for 4 years and in Pennsylvania and everywhere you can just go out and go hiking, and there's plenty of mountains and hills and big viewpoints, and you can just go down the road. And here there's not really that. It's very flat in Charleston, so no matter how far you drive, you have to drive to the other end of the state. But so I was just feeling very stuck and I missed that, so I made the decision to go. I actually considered Kilimanjaro at that time. Then I stumbled upon Nepal and Everest, and I actually knew somebody who did both, and I asked them which one was more epic. So they said, go to the Himalayas, go to Nepal and see that. So I did that back then. And then now when it's kind of, I wanted to do, right after that, some other mountains, but COVID hit. So I kind of been stuck for a while, and now it's kind of lightening up. So I made the decision to go do another big trip. So I kind of just go do big trips and then come back and live the normal life for a while. But I got my eye on those 7 summits now. So I'm starting to check them off one by one.
That is very, very incredible. All right. So I think we have more questions in store. The next question I have for you is, what are some differences between pre and post weight when it comes to conditioning or eating prep?
So, I mean, we still, for the most part, eat pretty clean just all the time. It's just kind of what makes me at least feel the best. But I mean, after fights, I definitely eat all the trash that I missed. But just we eat clean during camps, kind of taper off maybe the last week to few days coming right up to weigh-ins. And then weigh in, and then usually we'll go out and find food somewhere. Usually it's like late and we're in some random city. So we'll go out and try to find something that's like half decent. But at that point, it's really about like replenishing everything because you're pretty depleted to weigh in sometimes. So just lots of water, lots of carbs, kind of get fueled back up and then fight. And then we go wild and eat all the cake and cupcakes and candy,
Like
all the
pretty much,
bad stuff.
give yourself spoil yourself with like a little treat at the end of everything.
Yes, like so many treats you cannot even. I still have some bags of like candy and treats that people gave me for the December show that are still at my house that I'm working through.
And then not only that, we also got a fight coming up here soon. But the next question is that and yet I hate to put you on the spot for this, but who is your favorite in your team?
That's I don't have a favorite. I'm very I love my team, and I mean a lot of them I've watched kind of like grow up in Muay Thai. Especially now there's a lot of newer fighters, not any like new ones anymore, but I mean there's a lot of fighters now that I've watched walk in the door and start on day one and then have now fought, beside them on the same show. So I get very mama bird or like big sister feeling a lot of times when the newer ones fight. And I'm like, oh, my babies are leaving the nest. So I do get very excited for them. But I mean, Anna Toole's always been my A1. She started with me. It was just the two of us at first. She's been in the corner for every fight I've ever had. I've tried to be in the corner for most of hers, the ones I can make. But yeah, I don't have a favorite. I love everyone for different reasons. I mean,
I was gonna say, if you guys check her out on her Instagram, she pretty much obviously she shows that she has no favorite because you see how much excitement she has when either her friend slash sister wins a fight and she gets so pumped up. I mean, it's just like you made a video a couple of days ago involving your whole team, and it amazes me to see how much you really love your team. It goes to show how much you're willing to do for someone, whether if it's new or someone who's been there for quite some time, and that's very, very incredible to see.
Yeah, I mean, we all grow together, so you can't do it alone. Nobody gets in that ring because they prepared on their own. So everyone's helping everyone out, and everybody's good at different stuff on our team. We have a very like dynamic team, so there's always someone you're like, okay, I'm not great at this, but you are. So we definitely like help each other in different areas, and it's just really exciting to see your friends win and you've seen them put in all the hard work, and you've been there helping them put all the hard work. You've taken their punches. You've you kind of suffer through it with them, and then when it all pays off in the end, you're like really proud. So at least I am.
Well, I have something special for you. So what people don't realize is you pretty much not only made an impact to your team, you've also really made an impact to me. You really helped me out on a lot of stuff, and I gotta say thank you for everything you do for me and for everyone else. So I put together a little something for you. I asked both Anna and Kayla to write down, how much you've meant to them, and they put in a lot of incredible words for you. And this is from Anna. Anna says, Amy is the heart of our team at Charleston Muay Thai. She's always bringing other people up and doing small things for them. She started this tradition of making me a bag of little trinkets. Hopefully I said that right. Before my fights, and now she makes one for all the fighters at our gym. I can always rely on her to be there, every training session, to hold pads, to spar, to sit in the sauna with me, to talk about how hungry we all are. She's put up with a lot of shit and a lot of my head kicks, but I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without her. Please let her know how much we appreciate her so much, and we wish her the best of luck on her trip to Africa.
Thanks.
And this is one from Kayla as well. Amy has worked since day one to help me become a fighter, and I could type pages on the ways that she's impacted my life. If I had to name her superpower, it's, though it would be hard. Sorry for the stutter. She's poured absolutely everything she has into the sport and set an example of dedication that's on a whole other level. She grinds and grinds and grinds, and when the tank is finally empty, you can guarantee she's going to push herself and everyone else to make it through and set a new standard. An all around badass leader, an amazing teammate, and friend.
Mm. Thanks, guys. That was very sweet of you to go get that from them, and of course for them to write. Thank you, Anna and Kayla Hennessy,
Yeah.
my girls.
I figured it was like, like with everything that you've done, in the fighting world and outside of fighting, you always, lift one another up. I was like, I want to do something special for you. I want to do something
Thank you.
special for you because you have impacted my life. You impacted many others. And this is my way of all of us saying, thank you for everything that you do. And I definitely wish you the best of luck on your trip to Africa. And once you come back, you have a lot more you got to do. And I just can't wait to see how it goes for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do.
And one last thing though is that if you guys have not got a chance to follow her, I've tagged her on our Instagram at TNC Sports Talk. Before you head off, and I know you got it prepared for this big trip. Is there any final thing you want to say to our viewers?
Just thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out. We're gonna do some big things this year.
I can also say it's definitely going to be the year for Charleston Multi, but also the year for Amy Peduto. Amy, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to get a chance to join us. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. It's definitely been a great one.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
No problem. Hey, good luck in Africa, and we'll definitely see you back soon, hopefully.
Thanks.
No problem. That was Miss Amy Peduto. Get a chance to join us, and I can honestly say that was so much fun. And you really see how much she's put in to her fights, to helping one another out, and how much she can do for herself this year. And as we get Justin back, I can honestly say I had so much fun. I was really nervous before this interview. I was really, really nervous. I try not to stutter, and I hope it was something I hope she really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I will love to have her back to talk to, or just to have her back on our show, just to figure out how that climb went. Like, you kind of think of not stepping stones, but like accomplishments, miles. Like, I will love. I mean, I'm not no body shape. I'm like one big fluff marshmallow, to say. But I mean, I would love to climb. Get the opportunity to climb Kilimanjaro. Just to be able to do that, because that's something that she sets out for. One thing that she pointed out that I really could gravitate on is the simple things that can make your day a success. And it's as simple as waking up and just making your bed. If you just wake up and you make your bed, you've accomplished one thing that day. If that is the
Yeah.
only thing that you've accomplished, then you've had a successful day. But it's just, just try it. Wake up tomorrow, make your bed as soon as you wake up, and you will be surprised. If you do that every day, it will motivate you a little bit to do more and more and more and more. And sometimes for me, getting off my couch, because my couch is my best friend half the time,
Mhm.
it's that, doing simple things to motivate you to get out there is all that's said and done. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, the whole Kilimanjaro, I would love to have her back on when she gets back. I want to hear
Yeah.
about the climb. I want to hear about the adventure. She's going to Africa, right? So I want to hear about her
Yeah.
trip in Africa, because she's not just going to climb a mountain and that's it. She's gonna go probably see some things and enjoy her time, which I hope she does.
Yeah, and
But
not only that, she also comes back. Once she comes back, she gets a chance to relax. But she also has a fight coming up on March 30th as well. So I mean, a lot of incredible things
yeah,
coming. For not only for Amy, but also for Anna. Shout out to Anna, because those two will be fighting on the same card as well. And
okay,
I can also say, through my time, I get a chance to meet the women from Charleston Multi is so incredible.
mhm.
They're always so genuine, and they have definitely showed the biggest heart. So Thank you, Amy, for getting a chance to join us, and shout out to Charleston Muay Thai for everything that they do for their fighters.
And I've always wanted to get this correct, and maybe I should have ran by this for you. Is this her Instagram?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You guys get a chance to follow her at Amy Peduto. If you guys cannot find her, make sure you guys head over to our Instagram at TNC Sports Talk. So way
Yeah.
y'all
See,
get
the one thing
fully.
I did not want to do was to. I don't want to put something up that's not theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But if you guys
uh,
can't find it, make sure you guys head over to our Instagram. You know, Justin, I know you always, tell me, be careful, like, when it comes to interviewing, especially for you and Trey might not know who you guys are. But
mhm.
ever since I've been doing these interviews with fighters, I mean, we've interviewed 4 fighters now, and that has definitely been an incredible one. I can honestly say I've always take advantage of get a chance to interview these fighters. Not, I mean, because a lot of reasons. Because they show the heart, they show how passionate they are, they show the will, and yet, I tell this to people all the time on my Fighting Now channel on Instagram, is that they do stuff that we all that can inspire us all. We're all warriors at the end of the day, whether if she's a warrior in the cage or if she's a warrior outside of the cage, we're all warriors at life. And that's why I always try
Yeah.
to be able to get these women on here because they deserve to be recognized, whether if you're in the big promotions or if you're just fighting for like small companies, either way. And
Right.
my point is that I've had so much fun to get a chance to work on this. I've spent about maybe 2 to 3 days just preparing for this, trying to get myself ready because this was a really big interview for an incredible person like her and just for her to get her name out there as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like she is, just listening to her story, just listening to her and what she has to say, she's definitely an inspiration. I mean, I gravitate to the inspiration. The fact that, and I hate, and I'm sorry, I bring back to the whole wanting to go climb, Mount Kilimanjaro, but just her doing that on her own because that's a goal and that's a challenge for her, and she wants to go accomplish it. That just gives me motivation to go do something one extra today. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of
Yeah.
feel like, and like, listen, go back and listen to this interview again, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of confidence in yourself to kind of want to do something, not just as an individual person, but as a team. I mean, you talk about the great teamwork that she has, and yeah, anyone can honestly say that anyone could come out and say, "Yeah, we have a great team." Like I could come and tell you that you and Trey and I are a great team, but
Hmm.
I mean, we talked about this, in pre production. Sorry, and we have some things to work on. Um, and given that's every team and that's every team that they that has they always have something that they have to work on, but I mean you think of about a fighting team that is there to not only to motivate each other. I mean a lot of people wouldn't hesitate. Like I've been a part of fighting teams, okay, not fighting teams but wrestling teams, and I wouldn't be
Hmm.
be honest with you, I would kind of be stingy. I'm like, yeah, as much as I want the person next to me to do well as a team, I want to do well myself.
Yeah.
Also, like, here's my last point. I just want to let you know, which is also so great. When you fight when you go into something as a team, you get better when the people around you are good or
Yeah.
are better too. So like I know this, in like for example, I used to bowl. I noticed my bowling score would go up with people that bowled like 240s, 250s, and my score would be like, I don't know, 198, 200s, 210s. And then when I bowled against people that maybe like a 160, 170, my average would be like a 170, 180. So I mean it wouldn't be like it's just natural. Like when you're in when you're in the fighting business, you fight it with
Hmm.
good people, you're gonna fight good. But
Yeah.
then I think it shows the other way.
I mean, it's not only just like Charles and Muay. I mean, there's so many incredible teams out there. It's like they always say, iron sharpens iron." I mean, they help build one another. They help prepare themselves as a fighter. They do so many incredible things, and I gotta say, it's just been a very amazing one. But yet, we're getting ready to head to break real quick. But whenever we come back, we have a lot more to talk about. So yet, you're listening right here on the Jay and Trey podcast. Stay tuned. A lot more to come.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. My shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, you don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder.
Welcome back to the Jay and Trey podcast. If you guys just missed it, we had an incredible interview with Amy Peduto. It was amazing. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. My apologies.
Sorry, go ahead. No, continue.
But it was a very amazing interview. I definitely felt a lot of the nerves. I've had so many messages just now saying how incredible it was. Shout out to Amy for taking her time out of her busy schedule. Anna messaged me saying that it was awesome. I know Kayla's going to be watching this later on. And shout out to pretty much the whole entire team. Shout out to all of you guys for tuning in. It's definitely a great show. Already a great start, especially with what we have coming up. You mind if I tell you guys, if I say what's happening?
Go ahead. Have fun.
Saturday.
Take it away. You deserve it.
Saturday, we have Juice joining us. That's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, don't forget, next Thursday, we have Wildcat Chris Harris, a TNA legend, so to speak, in his own way. Get a chance to join myself, Justin and Trey, with a very special interview. And, of course, don't forget, yes, the same man that has pretty much been with the American Most Wanted with James Storm, as you see here with the picture with Justin and Trey. Also, don't forget the Brian Danielson autograph. All the information at our TikTok at TNC Sports Talk. Go to share, comment, and follow us. I mean, I can honestly say, Justin, thank you so much for giving me the platform to be able to do these interviews. I had such an incredible time. I'm hoping you guys did too. I feel super, super happy right now, especially with the week I've had. This has probably been the best day already.
I know we're kind of biting our own teeth here talking about each other, and talking about this show, but like literally, like we talked about this, and and we stressed about it. And I mean, there's no secrets. All right, let's tell the people. Let's be honest. Our last couple of interviews have not been the greatest, and I think there's been a lot of and I think one of the issues is one. Either if it's lack of knowledge, like for example, myself, no disrespect to Amy, I just don't know a lot of information about her. Now I'm learning more about her, and now I got her on Instagram, and we're gonna follow her. But obviously, we don't so I mean, I think it's only prompted to for you, for example, to take reins on the interview. And so
Hmm.
we're trying to create a dynamic on our show where we could have excellent interview process. So what you saw today, for example, because Amy, you had to correct, things. You got that interview with her one on one, and
Hmm.
there was really no need for me on the screen. I typed in the comments if I had a couple questions. You got to a few of them, and that's the thing. That's the dynamic of what we're gonna do. For example, when Juice comes in on Saturday, and it's no disrespect to you, and I know we feel certain ways, but you're gonna probably be sitting out. It's gonna be mainly me and Trey, numbering the now, getting down a host talking to him, and that way we don't maybe stumble on top of each other or whatnot. And then
Yeah.
we're gonna, and then if you have a question, you'll leave it down in the comments, and then we could get to the comments too. People ask questions down in the
Yeah.
comments. We'll have the last like 2 or 3 questions in the comments. We'll pick and select and all that stuff. So I tell you because we open that up to everybody because that's the learning process of doing a sports talk show like this and having guests on our show. Like we never went to school. We've been doing this. We've been pulling out of our butts, whatever we could get out of this. And
Yeah.
we're working. You're seeing the downs and ups of being uneducated and unknowledgeable on this show live while you guys are listening to us. So, and I thought that was great. What we saw during the interview, you're fantastic, and I think we stressed about the interview the most. As a growing channel, we want to make this show as much entertaining as possible. We want people to tune in. When it comes down to interviews, I know it's reluctant of hey, repetitive statements here, but
Hmm.
if now Amy's had that interview, if she's had a good taste in her mouth with us, maybe she goes tell some other people. Maybe people want to come in. When if we can, I don't want to use this as a platform, but just imagine like with coming up with Chris Harris, right?
Hmm.
Um, if we go in and we knock that out of the park next Thursday, who
Yeah.
knows who he still talks to and be like, yeah, they were pretty damn good. Look, you should be on their show, right? I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same with word of mouth that, like, when if Tyne had a bad experience, he would go tell people, and it would get back around the juice. And then maybe NWF will rethink, maybe we shouldn't be on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
and that's kind of like with Taylor and Britt. I mean, where we got a chance to interview them, and keep your fingers crossed. I might have another bare knuckle fighter get a chance to join us soon. We've been talking as of late, so hopefully, if
mhm.
we can get her probably about next Wednesday or next Friday, that'd be really incredible. But
Yeah,
but yet also don't forget. I mean, we have Lights Out Kat Nelson get a chance to join us once she comes back from her trip. I can
yeah,
honestly say the best is just yet to come for all of us. And I kept telling you guys this is that we all got to be able to work together as a team. Through the good
oh,
days and the
yeah,
bad days. And everyone kept asking me like with the week that I've had like how are you gonna be able to do this? I still managed to pull it through anyways because the way that I am is I don't try to let something that happened to me get the best of me because I move on
right.
like still like it's like my everyday life. And so no matter how things get going for me, I still put my effort when it comes to here, the
Yeah,
broadcast work. I mean anything, just be able to keep my mind to focus on a goal that I want to be able to
yeah,
achieve every week.
yeah. While we're asking that way, is there an update on your mother? Last time we talked yesterday, was she doing better or?
She's starting to get better. From what my stepdad told me is that she's trying to be able to get up and get active, but doctors won't let her,
Right.
and which is understandable. I got a chance to talk to her right before the show yesterday morning, and one thing I've always loved when it comes to getting like these texts, and I'm not afraid to admit this out here, but I'm
Hmm.
a mama's boy. I am a mama's boy, and just be able to get a chance to even have like just a simple text from her saying that I love you is always like the best way to be able to start my day. Which shout out to my mom, shout out to my family.
Hmm.
She's definitely slowly starting to get better, and I'm hoping if not Sunday, then maybe Monday we might get a chance to have her home. So just keep your fingers crossed on
There
that.
we go. Yeah, definitely get around by the weekend. I mean, listen, I may act and I may sound like a different way, but me and my family, I moved out to the East Coast from California a couple years ago, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still not adjusted yet to the East Coast, and over 2,000 miles away from my mom. And she's obviously not she's girl, when you get older, you got health issues, and
Yeah.
I think it concerns me every day. She just messages me back on Monday, telling me that she loves me every once in a while. And I think one thing that sucks is being on the East Coast is that I kind of lose track of. Okay, well, let me take 5 minutes to call her. Like, because when I get home at 10 o'clock, I'm tired. I'm trying to crap up, what we're doing with the show for the next day, and then I'm like headed to bed, and it's like
Yeah.
just getting a text message in, or if I'm at work, you try to text me at work and I'm trying to reply back, but I'm busy at work. I can't have my phone for the most time. So,
Hmm.
I don't really quite say this often, but yeah, I mean, I do appreciate the simple messages. I do get choked up on the simple messages of my own mom. My sister called me the other day. I'm like, I got my father, my brother, my father, my mother, my brother, my sister. My brother is in Chicago. He's in the Navy, so he's going to training. My sister is in high school. She's also working. My father's working. My mom's working. So it's kind of hard to keep up with the mix of the trying to reach around to everybody. And then I'm like, well, my sister calls me the other day, and I'm like, it's been like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like 2 3 weeks probably since we talked, and it's like great. I'm just that type of person on the phone though. Like, unless there's actually something to talk about, I'm kind of like a deadbeat on the phone. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
really invested unless there's actually a conversation to actually talk about. To be honest,
Yeah.
but that's just
Well,
me. Hey, let me ask you a question really
yeah,
fast.
what's up?
So obviously, like I said, I would recommend anyone who hasn't listened to the interview with Amy Peduto that Jake did a wonderful job with to go back and listen to it. Um, is there any accomplishments or goals or things like you kind of like on your bucket list that you want to say, hey, I've been, I'm able to do?
I mean, there's always been like a lot of incredible goals every year to say the least, and I just want to be able to. My goal is to be able to interview as much fighters as I possibly can this year because whenever I get a chance to interview these fighters, it's always a good chance like to have the honor and privilege because to me these are not just fighters, these are simply just warriors. And with the platform that build off of the Fighting Now Instagram, it's like I've always been encouraging like every single women's fighter just be able to, hey, you guys need to follow them because they do stuff that I mean we all could do, and they go in there, they fight, they do so much. And it kind of reminds me, it's like my mom is like the biggest warrior, especially throughout the last couple of years. And I think of these incredible fighters that we get a chance to interview as just like simply warriors. So I want to be able to get a chance to one, interview as many fighters as I possibly can. Two, I want to be able to keep on making music like I have been. I haven't got a chance
Mhm.
to really play music since December because of where I had COVID and everything. I want to be able to get back to that passion for music. And number three is just I just want to be able to just try to be able to make a lot of goals, whether if it's like broadcasting. I want to be able to be the best broadcaster I could possibly could, or like with
Okay.
Instagram. And I mean, I'm trying to be able to
Yeah.
get up to as many as I possibly can. I'm almost up to like 3,000 followers, and that's always like a goal for me to go to keep
Hey,
reaching
hey,
up.
share some of that over to us, please. I need.
Hey,
uh,
for for those of you who don't know, Justin helped me out with my first ever logo, and I gotta say the
yeah.
response to everything was incredible. Everyone told me that they loved it. As you can see right here, we finally got Lauren Garcia got a chance to unveil it on her story yesterday, and then we posted it out there to let everyone know that hey, we finally got a logo. And I've had, whether if it's podcasters, promotions, fighters, they've all told me how much they loved this logo. And I even have like a company that's actually trying that we're in the talks of to might get a chance to release some merchandise. So just keep your fingers
Well,
crossed on that.
well,
Yeah,
talk about merchandise. That is actually gonna go on a that I'm actually this weekend. That's actually going up on a phone case and a T-shirt
yeah,
and
yeah. I
and
mean,
a hoodie and a hoodie
you also and the
on
hoodie, you got a lot of
our
stuff going.
our talk show, our podcast of merchandise. which, by the way, let me not forget before I forget this show, you guys could check us out on merchandise stuff. I know Trey did a TikTok video at merch.streamelements.com/JJ Talk Show. That's merch.streamelements.com/JJ Talk Show. We're going to put some hoodies, a hoodie, probably some phone cases up and a t-shirt up there for Fight Now
Yeah,
Club or the fighting now
yeah, the
for
fun.
your guys' page. So you guys
Yeah,
could check us out there and start buying some stuff there. Maybe buy some mock-ups there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. There's like like whenever you build a platform like the Fighting Now has, it's like you want to be able to have merchandise, and then you have
Yeah.
fighters or models say hey, like they're wearing my stuff, like it's so cool and everything. It's just like the fan out of you comes out immediately. And
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be able to get a chance to wear my own gear, and I mean, if things go well, then I might be able to get a chance to wear my own Fighting Now shirt eventually. Is
You
right
still got to
now I'm
wear
just
our shirts. You still got to
I mean,
wear our stuff.
obviously, yeah, but I gotta say this though, throughout this week, it's been a very, very rough week, and I do want to send a shout out to everyone on the Fighting Now who has reached out to me a lot, but especially with mom, to you, to Trey, to my friends, family. You guys have been helping me out over a lot this
Who
past couple of days.
who runs fighting now?
Myself, I run it.
You were in the page. There's no one
I
that
run.
helps you.
No one helps me. I pretty much
Mm.
run the entire page, whether it comes to the fighters, the models, or the inspirational quotes. I do a lot. I take
So you had
out.
this on Instagram. You have this on Instagram.
Yeah.
You you go hunt down fighters, young fighters,
No,
women.
no, 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 no,
No,
no, no.
no,
That sounded really bad. No.
no. Hold on.
So
Okay.
no, no you said that
You
sounded really
follow
bad.
fighters and you make this Instagram page open for the fighting industry, fighting world for women
Yeah.
who want to share their stories, who wants to promote what they're promoting,
Yeah.
anything that can do to help you're basically you created a non-profitable organization
hmm
for these female fighters to build their name, to give them a platform to build them up, because obviously
yeah.
the fighting world in the women's industry is slowly growing, but it's still
Yeah.
down there at the bottom.
See, the thing is, like with me, is like I've always built this, for all the women's fighters because I've always
Mhm.
told them every single time, whether you don't have to be in the big promotions such as UFC or bare knuckle, because I even shout out to fighters who are even just now, who after they won their first fight, it was like it's not only towards MMA but also to boxing and Muay Thai to anything, because I think every single women's fighter out there deserves to be recognized, deserves the attention that they deserve. And I put outside of the podcast and outside of everything, I pretty much put in a lot. I put in a lot of hard work and effort to be able to promote, such an incredible platform such as this. And that's how I get, the chance to be able to say, hey, we're doing incredible things out there. And I feel very, very proud of, where we're at today, and I can honestly say it's going to keep continuing getting better and better from here. And with all these events that's happening, I pretty much outside of the podcast, outside of the broadcast, my all my effort goes in here to be able to build a community for women, all the women's fighters out there, and I even help
Absolutely.
out as far as like a couple of promotions. Where it was like Mom's Basement, which Mom's Basement MMA, which you guys can go check out, to
Mhm.
so many. I think it was like Air Media Productions. I know they're interviewing Bretton Hart and Christina Fierro for next month,
There we go.
and so it's just like the more the more popular I get, the more big I get, because like I tell them all the
Man,
time,
you're
and I'm
getting
telling you
so
guys this.
big.
I mean, the thing is though, is like, and you don't need to exaggerate. It's like because like I don't really let the fame get to me, because to me, what matters is helping someone out. It's helping to be able to build a support system for a fighter,
Yeah.
because they might these fighters may not even have that support system. But hey, if you come to our page, here's your chance. You don't have to really do anything. Just let me know what I can do to be able to help you out. That's all I
Well, you
want to be
think
able
of
to
the
do.
fighting world, you think of just like, we talk about the indies production here, and we talk about, how they have to kind of promote their own business in a sense or in a way. and this is kind of like their way. You go out and you start booking yourselves to do this and do that, and you start building yourself. Listen, in about 5 years from now, I want to see Taylor Sterling on ESPN or SportsCenter doing an interview after a fight. That's what my goal is. You know what I'm saying? I want one day to get. I mean, great. I love them to have on our show, but I want to see one day, Amy Peduto to be on some sort of like maybe like bus. I mean, maybe she's already been on Busted Open, but like a Busted Open fighting network, or I'm using that as an example. What I'm trying to say is like something bigger that nationally everyone, like thousands and thousands of people already go to. And as she develops, does that make sense? I mean,
it makes sense. But the crazy thing is, and this is my first time getting a chance to tell you guys this. Recently, we've had some UFC fighters get a chance to follow us, and as like a fan of like the UFC and everything, it's like, oh my gosh, this is cool. Like like we're getting the follows, but at the same time, you still have to be able to continue with that mindset that you're doing. And so as cool as getting the followers from UFC fighters out of all people who actually love the page, we still got to be able to continue with that same goal every single day, every single week, to be able to build what we're having to do for such an incredible page.
Well, that's good. I like it. Thank you, Jake, for getting us out there in the fighting world. Absolutely. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the Briscoes, the Briscoe brothers.
Yeah, let's talk about the Briscoes. Let's do it.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about it a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Got some good things or bad things to talk about them?
Oh, good things. Very, very good.
I got some negative things. I got some negative things.
Of course you do. But a little bit of negativity.
You have to have a little negativity.
I mean, that's go to break.
Your positivity.
Go to break. Go to break.
Now. Go to break. Here, you can't be a Trey. You can't just snap your finger and it goes to break. We'll be back here on the Jay and Trey podcast.
And you
little. We need to come on like a half an hour earlier and do like a little foreplay.
I could also say like when that B hit, I was like, wait, is he taking us back to like the 80s, the 70s?
Kind of
Like
get you
type
in
of. I mean, it is throwback Thursday, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
kind of get you in the mood. Bring back where's Mark Henry? Ooh yeah. This kind of works with the whole and the sexual chocolate type that he had back in the day.
Just stop, bro. Just stop. Why did he bring back?
You
that
know, we
whole
went.
gimmick?
I asked you a question about 10 minutes ago. You still never answered it. You went around the
What was the
question. You gave me a vague
I
answer.
forgot.
I'm okay. Think about your entire life. What are some like bucket list things that you want to do in your life? I didn't ask you about the show in this year. I asked you about your life.
Okay.
Like, we have,
bucket
Amy's
list.
going to go climb Kilimanjaro, which is a big bucket list. I mean, like,
Okay.
I would love to
okay.
go see Mount Rushmore.
My biggest goal is I would love to go see New York. I love to go to California, and also my biggest goal I want to go to Hinesfield to watch the Steelers play. That's also on my bucket list.
Okay. Yeah, football games. I mean, okay. I want to go to every single baseball game. Every single baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Especially going like if I want to go to Dodger Stadium, I want to go to Fenway Park, and I want to go to Wrigley Field. Especially because you don't know when they're going to get tear down eventually. I mean, how long do you think they can actually stand?
I don't know, but yet
stadiums on the planet.
I mean, there's also like a really another goal I'd like to be able to make is I would love to go to Daytona for the big Daytona 500. I mean, I would just love to be able to get a chance to see the sight of how beautiful Daytona is, the speedway, or
I had a friend of mine that
the
went,
beach.
or a buddy of mine that I knew at least back in my other job. He went to Indy 500 last year.
That was at Indianapolis.
He
Yeah,
went to
Indy
the
500.
he went to actually the prelims. Let me put it that way. The qualifying races
Okay, so yeah, the qualifying stuff.
that happened like a week before, I guess, in Indiana
Yeah, so
or
something I
Indianapolis.
kind of wish NASCAR would do. They've been racing on the road course over last year, and then for these Xfinity series the year before last. Please, I'm begging NASCAR, give us back the oval, give us back the Brickyard, please. Like, we don't need one too many road courses. This is not F1 or IndyCar. NASCAR. Like,
Please. We only make left turns.
step on a Lego.
That's
Justin.
why the
Just
sport
step on a
was too
Lego.
easy. No.
Oh, my
No. I'm giving you a compliment. I get confused after left, right. Just give me a left turn, and I'm a happy man. You also think
but
about
yeah-
it: three left, make a right.
But yeah, you also got to think about this though is that we're getting a dirt race this year for the second year in a row. So
That
this is
looks
gonna
like
be
crap. That looks like crap right now.
interesting. Have you seen it?
Did you
Have we-
see? Did you see the drawing paperwork on that? Oh my goodness!
So let me explain what I'm talking about. So fans don't realize. So pretty much NASCAR, what they decided to do was take, they usually do this with the truck series, but to take their main series and have a dirt race. And they're doing it again this year at Bristol. I don't know why.
I don't.
Do you think the Cup
Hopefully-
cars need to do dirt racing?
Cup cars just need to be tracks. Give me tread. Give me the tracks. I don't know, because the thing is that I am not a big NASCAR fan to tell you if change is good for the business. But as a typical, like a general fan, I would be like, this is outside my comfort zone. And I'm just like, no, let's not do it. I mean, it's almost like if I'm watching WWE this entire time, and then now you're asking me to go watch AEW, which is a whole another dynamic. I've been used to one promotion and the way they've been doing things. Now you want me to jump on to something else. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Like
it's
jump the
like when
bandwagon, is what you're
WWE.
saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will be a good thing, but I guess here's the thing: it's like baseball, for example. When they had in extra innings, they had the runner on second base to kick off the inning. I'm like, it's an adjustment, I don't know if that's something that I will gravitate to, but I can't really otherwise than comment on it until I actually see a race happen
Mhm.
on on the dirt track. So
Yeah, well, that'll be coming in March. I think they're trying to be able to have a night race. So, all I can tell
it's
you
still
is that
cold in March, you guys. I mean, it's gonna be terrible. It's
they
just gonna be terrible.
it's gonna be probably a cluster, you know what? But nevertheless, though, I mean,
A cluster
I
beep. Yeah, I don't see.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, not only that, but you
Yeah.
also got to think about this. So, is that here in a couple of weeks we're going to the LA Coliseum? How do you think that's gonna be?
Isn't that on dirt track too?
No, that's not on no dirt
No.
track. Thankfully, it's just
Thank
gonna be like
goodness.
a. I mean, it's gonna be a night race at the LA Coliseum, which I never thought in my life I even have to say a football stadium turned into a racetrack.
Now I could see a maybe a motorbike race. I could see a monster truck rally. I could see maybe a truck series race, but you want the LA Coliseum fitting how many cars? I think what 40 plus cars?
No, just
30?
20. Thankfully, just
Okay,
20.
20, I think. Hallelujah.
Thankfully, yeah.
But you know my point. Still 20 cars. I mean, and usually don't you rely on the curve of the turns?
Yeah,
Like
mostly,
that's
yeah.
all like how are you going to put that together in the LA Coliseum?
If you like the best way I could be able to explain to what they're trying to do is like if you go to like your local like short track, that pretty much sums it up of how this is looking right now. You can see pictures of it,
So
but not all of that, but yet NASCAR, what they decided to
so
do is
you have
package away.
professionals going back down to you have professionals racing at an amateur level,
Pretty much with these
basically.
brand new cars that they have in store for us, with these brand new cars, with the next gen
I heard
cars,
that they're
what they
getting
call
rid
it.
of the DHL ones, whatever pieces that they make.
So listen to this though. They're also adding in digital mirrors in the car. They're adding
Okay,
digital
I mean,
mirrors.
you might as well put in a fucking microwave and let's make some hot pockets. That'll be great for the hot pocket car.
Thankfully, there isn't no such thing as a hot pocket car. I swear. But as far as
Is
like
there a
being
Pizza
a
Hut?
NASCAR fan,
Put it in the oven. Put it in a conventional oven.
and yet, if we thought this was
Uh,
bad, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine how it's going to be whenever we have Trey tomorrow.
listen, I mean, listen. You had. I don't. How do we top an Amy Peduto interview? We don't. Like you hit
Nope.
that ball, you hit that out of the park. You just can't. I mean, all right, it's time to go home then. I mean, let's just call it the day and end the show because it's like you've already nailed it. Um, and it's like there's no point of continuing the show now because of that. You know how we could top it? Let's talk about some Briscoes. How about
Let's
that?
talk
Let's
about some
talk about some
Briscoes. Let's
Briscoes.
do it. Yeah.
So, all right. So they were on the Busted Open podcast earlier
Okay.
this week. Don't they have a match coming up this weekend on GCW?
Yeah, it pretty much calling out any tag team for the coveted GCW World Tag Team
I
Championships.
also know that FTR is looking to get their hands on them. I know, but here's the thing. I guess here's more my question is, where do you really, really see the Briscoes fit in the wrestling world right now? You talk about the promotions of WWE, right?
Hmm.
And maybe you really have to cross your T's and dot your I's when it comes down to the WWE, right? Because you don't want to go in there and then just get annihilated.
Hmm.
Especially the WWE way. But I think that's probably, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a job security, but I think that's still the company that will take care of you the best. The money's there, the healthcare is there. Um, I heard something interesting, by the way, is that if you get injured, like let's say you got injured tomorrow, well, let's say you got injured that's going to keep you out for 30 days and your
Yeah.
contract was supposed to end tomorrow, your injury does not qualify for your contract. So you could be held for another 30 days after you come back with the
Really?
WWE. Yeah, I heard that earlier this week from Tommy Dreamer, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna go question his process because he's been signed with the WWE, and that
Hmm.
actually makes a lot of sense. Hey, if you're injured, we're paying you to be on their time, so your contract extends automatically. The length that you have left on your contract is going to extend after you get health and clear to wrestle again. But anyways, we talked about like Impact Wrestling. Will they go to Impact Wrestling? I think that Impact Wrestling will be beneficial for them, but there's
Mhm.
not a lot of. I think Impact is also moving in a different direction, a little bit
Well,
away from the Briscoes.
to me, it's like, I've always had this question because I've watched the Briscoes throughout my longest period of time in Ring of Honor, and don't forget, you also got to think about this though. Um, Jay is a former two-time Ring of Honor World Champion and
Right.
obviously a 20-time tag team champion. So
That
yet,
was
if
back when
you ask,
Mark was injured and Jay had to road ride solo.
that was back when Mark got injured and Jay made a name for himself. So if you ask me like where are they going to fit, to me, I think where they seem fit as far as the best tag team wrestling, because you got to think about this though. They've even went to Pro Wrestling Noah to face the best tag teams, to Ring of Honor. I mean, pretty much went all over the world, New Japan, you name it. And
Right.
yet they know what tag team wrestling is all about. So yeah, if you're asking me where they feel like they need to fit, I feel like Impact, it'll be much more comfortable for them, but at the same
Okay.
time, they want to be able to find the best tag team division there is, and you're looking at it with not Ring of Honor, but AEW. So I feel like it's
Right.
between AEW and Impact. You want to be able to
Okay.
set the
But let me put
boundaries
this
for
out.
them boys.
We can agree that they are arguably probably one of the best current tag teams in wrestling today.
Hmm.
We can agree on that. We
Easily.
also can agree that wherever they go, they're going to want to be on the spotlight. They're going to want to be on, like, in order to pay your bills and put bread on the table for your family, you're going to have to be in each and every week on the program,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem that I mean, and we talked about this before. I feel that AEW is now maybe getting a little bit more overwhelmed with the return of Jon Moxley. You just don't know how he's going to be implemented into the weekly shows. A lot of these wrestlers that you see, a lot of these big names that you see, we don't see Matt Hardy compete each and every week.
No,
We don't
we
see
only we,
Not Alberto, Andrade Del Sol compete each and every week. I mean,
we
so
don't
my
see
point is
Christian.
that we don't see Christian. We don't see some of these younger guys that's been sticking with AEW from day one. So I guess
Mhm.
my point is that when you talk about wanting to go to AEW, yeah, that may be more exciting. You have FTR, you have all these tag team championship, that you could set up for. But do you really think, do you really want to go to a company that's going to put you on maybe once or twice a week or month? Do you really want to
That
also go on and then maybe be a highlight for 6 weeks and then get shot down like everyone else? Because even Cody Rhodes for a time period was shot down. You don't make money that way.
No, not really. And then pretty much you end up seeing what Cody Rhodes is doing right now. I mean, after what me and Trey talked about. So I really feel like, as far as the Briscoes is concerned, and yet, and I'm gonna say this, to me, they're up there with the Hardys, Edge, and Christian Devil Boys because that's how amazing they are. And so I
Yeah.
feel like that they can either go to Impact, because to me, I feel
Hmm.
like Impact definitely needs to work on a lot as far as the tag team division. I can't shoot. I mean, we've been with Impact for so long that yet we still have the same tag team champions with Gallagher and Anderson, and they've not lost those titles ever since. Ever since they
But
won it.
if it works, it works. I mean, if you don't have anyone else worthy enough to come in and take over that, then what are you going to do? Take it off of them? I mean, who are you going to put it on right now?
No, I can see where you're coming from, but yeah, if you want to be able to start a fire as far as the tag team division, then yeah, have them boys, have the 20-time
Absolutely.
Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. I mean,
Even
because
if it's like a temporary 3-month feud, I would
even
accept
yeah,
that.
oh yeah. I mean, to me, I would love to see not only them to be able to feud with FTR obviously, but yeah, there's been so
Mm.
many incredible tag teams like even outside of AEW. I want to be able to continue seeing obviously we with Violent by Design or Heath and Rhino to
Okay.
even the Bullet Club. I mean, I want them
Yeah.
to see them uh,
All right. So let me
bring
ask
their
you this.
feud.
Let's take it one promotion at a time, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
WWE. Do you if do you even see the Briscoes being offered or even thinking about the WWE?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No way. Be- because
I mean,
they tried. I'll say they tried to reach out to, they tried to be able to even get ready for the WWE, and WWE said, "Nah, no, thank you." But yet,
Maybe
as
at that
far
time, yeah, because that was what, a couple years ago. Now they maybe, if the WWE reaches out to them and say, "Hey, I got a contract for you," but I think that if in order for the Briscoes have to go to the WWE, I think there's going to be a lot of give that the WWE is going to have to let them have. For
uh
example, they're going to have to be able to do what they want. Did you hear about WWE just trademarked Brock Lesnar's name?
yeah,
I mean,
they, tr-
so I think
yeah,
that in WWE, I know it's most least likely, but there's going to be a lot of things that the Briscoes are going to, are going to want to come out there and do their own thing, and WWE is
mm,
going to have to allow it. And I just don't know if WWE is going to do that for the front forward foremost here.
yeah,
AEW Briscoes go to AEW. Here's my other so I talked about how talented and how stacked this lineup is, this roster is.
hmm
Here's my other question for AEW. If they go to AEW, I really don't know if honestly the current tag team division there can keep up with the Briscoes, because we talked a bit about this off air, but yesterday morning
hmm
the Briscoes have one gear, they have one pace, they have one momentum, and they go balls to the walls each and every time.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know if that division can be kept up, and if they move up to AEW, if that happens, you got to take a step or two back and kind of slow down and let the story go.
not only that, but yeah, you also got to think about this though. And yeah, people say, "Oh, it's just a gimmick." That whole country boy gimmick, it's not a gimmick. It's their lifestyle. I mean, they actually have
Right.
a wrestling ring in their backyard in Sandy Fork, Delaware. I mean, they pretty much, they go cut grass, and then
They
next
live
day,
off
next thing
they
you
live
know,
off the grid. They don't have social media accounts.
actually, I think they only have an Instagram and a Twitter. That's about it. That's like Mark
Yeah, but
Jay. I
they're
know he
never
don't really
active on it unless they're posting something about their career. Like
either
these
that
videos
or
that they made.
yeah, or if like a little like promotion or like a little like video out to like the FTR or some sort of tag team.
Right.
And pretty much if you're asking me, which company they're going to go to me it don't matter where they're going to come to, because if there's a door in front of them, they're going to knock down that door and be able to try to be able to take away
Right.
whatever tag team
But I think
championships
as the
there is.
Briscoes, and I think you can agree with me when I say this, as the Briscoes, though, you're only going to want to go to somewhere that is going to benefit you in the long run, that's going to put you in the spotlight each and every week.
Yeah,
Right now, although I think AEW is great, unless
yeah,
that forbidden door is open for AEW and Impact, I think there's going
yeah,
to have to be a lot of jumping, because for now, I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, they may start off like the first 3 months, each and every week on a Dynamite or Rampage. After
mhm.
that, they're gonna kind of like everyone else. They kind of weigh off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, the question is though, is that after this coming weekend, whether they have their big title match, I mean, we're gonna have to see as far as like the directions goes, but it's all gonna depend on this coming weekend, because before we can be able to say well, they're gonna do this and that. I mean, it always ends with a match. So we'll have to see this coming weekend, because they have a big title match, big tag team title match to whoever it is. I mean, they might not know who they're gonna face until once when they come out there. So I mean, we'll have to wait and
Right.
see as far as the Briscoes. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy stuff in the wrestling world, and all of that. Be it, hey, think about this though. Tonight, Charlie Haas making his Impact debut. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes, that's exciting to watch. Exciting to tune into. All right. Um, Let me figure out here. We gotta take one more break,
All right.
and then we gotta get ready for tomorrow. Talk about
Okay.
let's talk about I say we would talk about Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
The entire match card.
Yeah.
But I mean, oh no, we'll see what it takes us. Last break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more. You're listening to the Jay and Trey podcast on TNC Sports Talk.
I am no average Joe. shooting star in a film noir. I'm floating around 10 feet on the ground. I'm floating around 10 feet on the ground. I know you like it. I think I like it too. Yeah, I know you like it more than you I am no average Joe.
I'm only paying attention. Hold on. There we go. Oh, yay. Come on. Yay.
There it is. Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. This is another one right there.
You just
All
ruined
right.
it. You just
Hey,
ruined
we got to all right, let's restart. I got we're gonna finish off the show here after this quick advertisement here on the J and Trey podcast.
Hey,
Uh,
real quick, I just now got a message from Amy, and she said that she really had a great time, and she thanked myself and you for everything, and she really appreciated what I did for her at the end, and always awesome to see stuff like that, be able to do stuff
see,
for amazing
I
people like
thought
that.
maybe, I thought maybe she. I mean, I don't know how like if she got choked up on that. I mean, I
I I planned Alex before I planned this for her. I reached out to
I
Kayla and
was I,
Anna.
even I was getting off the air. I was getting choked up a little bit. I'm like, oh no, what do we have to say about this? Like,
What
because I
do you
mean
mean?
that's very inspirational. Like when you
Oh,
shared the stories from the other teammates, um, like that's pretty effing awesome. I'll say effing right. I'll say that
yeah.
this is pretty effing awesome. The fact that you went out of your way on not only booking this interview, but going out there and getting um other her teammates to say something nice about her or to say anything they want nice about her,
Hmm.
kind of just like it's pretty pretty damn awesome in a sense, and I say that so much, but um oh gosh, hey, interesting story I just came across here during the break,
What's up?
and that's why I took a little delay back. So you know how the Bengals? I'm sorry, I'm trying to kind of give you my best reading while I'm trying to read this still.
Relax, relax.
Anyways, no, I'm just trying to read this article while I'm trying to give you the article because I don't want
Yeah.
to leave out information. So you know how the Raiders and how the Bengals kind of did stuff to the ticket pricing to avoid Raider fans buying out the tickets.
Yeah.
It looks like the same thing is being done in Tennessee.
Are you
Headline
kidding
here
me?
on US Headlines here on USA Today's article: Titans change ticket rules for a playoff game to try to keep Bengal fans out. And that was posted
Uh,
about 8 o'clock this morning. And I'm just coming across here on my phone. Bengals fans are probably going to travel pretty well for the divisional round against Tennessee. Um, After doing the drought and all that stuff. I'm vice president for ticketing, Brooke Ellenberger, for the Titans explains why the rule is getting changed per Chris Davis on I guess you can find them on Channel News 5. Here it is, and I quote, "We want Nissan Stadium to be toned blue, and so by limiting this transfer window, it is also limiting the number of visiting team fans that we'll have in the stadium. By limiting the transfer time, would limit some of the resale and some of the transfer activities that would happen in advance." End quote. So I guess they're limiting the amount of tickets they're selling. They're only
Uh,
selling them to, I guess, Titan fans or in Tennessee. So,
or, or at least like some Bengals fans in Tennessee, maybe.
well, so they're limiting the number of non. I guess they're limiting. I mean, I don't know what do you take off for that?
I don't really know, but all I can tell you is if you guys tune in tomorrow's show, Trey is going to be all decked out in Bengals gear, from what he
Oh
told
God,
me.
he's doing that on purpose. He's doing that on purpose, you guys. He's trying to
Yeah,
get
he is.
you. He's trying to get everybody that's not a Bengals fan pissed off. Well, I got
He's
some
been
bad
doing.
news.
What's up?
The Bengals, I think, are going to lose.
Oh, with the turn of King Henry. Oh yeah,
Derrick Henry,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I call him King Henry because of the fact that the man has stiff arm so powerful that he pretty much move you out of your own body, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm just. We'll read more. We'll get you guys more information on it. I just think that's like I get it, but that's crazy. I mean, honestly, like, come on. I'm just.
I mean, hey,
Hmm.
I gotta say this though. As if you ask me like who's like the biggest like fans out there, I mean I hate to admit this, but I mean the Bengals fans are the most passionate fans that I've ever seen. I mean they pretty much show how much they support their team, especially after they win over the Vegas Raiders this last weekend. I am
Hmm.
really excited about this because one, it's going to be at 4:30. I know Trey is going to be keeping an eye on this game, and yet I definitely do say this is probably going to be one of the, if not toughest games besides the Kansas City Chiefs that they face this year.
Well, you got to remember. I mean, it's not only it's been 31 years since they made it to the won a playoff game, but it's also been 31 years since they went past the divisional round.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, they went up to the divisional round, I believe, and then they lost. So,
So,
this is another big step forward, I guess.
well, let me ask you a question though. So, I mean, what do you think is going to be the main key steps if you're Cincinnati to be able to win this game? Because everyone's gonna be focusing, keeping their eye on Tennessee. Derrick Henry's gonna be coming back. So yet, if you're Cincinnati, what are you gonna have to do to be able to prepare yourself for such a big matchup before the AFC Championship game?
I really don't know if it's that big of a matchup. I mean, Tennessee has kind of been, I think that they were the forefront, one of the teams up in the forefront for quite some time. And then they kind of took a back seat a little bit. I mean, here's the deal: you got yourself going. You got momentum going. You won a division game. Um, don't get too cocky over yourself. That's what I'm going to say. Last Sunday and Sunday and Monday was fantastic, perfect to go celebrate and have a great day. You know,
Sorry.
as fans, as players, don't get over ahead of yourself because Tennessee is not bad. And here's the other thing: if you guys could pass Tennessee, you're gonna have to either face a dominating badass Bills or a team that went back to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So it's not a walk through the park. These other three teams are still so dominant. They've been kind of running their division the last couple, or not. They've been running the AFC playoffs the last couple years.
Yeah, and I gotta say this though. I mean, I am really happy to see that type of competition to step up, especially with what we've been seeing. I mean, the Bengals been looking incredible throughout this whole season. You also got to give credit where credit's due to Tennessee. They proved that hey, we don't need Derrick Henry to be able to become the number one team in the AFC, and they did just that.
Right.
So yet,
Right.
so I look forward to
Just
seeing this.
imagine
I
when
think
Derrick Henry does come back and now what type of impact he will play. I mean, let's figure he hasn't played. I mean, he could be rusty and he could not, because he hasn't played in a while, or he could be phenomenal, which will be a dangerous Tennessee team.
Either that, or if he has his invisible Thanos gauntlet, whenever he throws a step arm, he'll pretty much move people out of the way from the other side of the field.
Yeah,
Oh my
he's
gosh!
awesome.
Oh
What
man,
about just think of this: Tennessee and Buffalo
Tennessee. Oh
in the
my
AFC
gosh!
Championship. That would be
If they
incredible.
if Kansas City ends up losing this game against Buffalo, then I'm actually excited to see how this goes for the AFC side. And then you also got to think about the NFC side. The NFC side is looking really, really hot as well. Your
I
team
mean,
taking on the
Garoppolo
Buccaneers.
has a finger, so Garoppolo has a thumb tear and a shoulder sprain as well.
So Trey Lance will be starting this Saturday.
No, Garoppolo will be ready to go, but he's dealing with a shoulder sprain in his throwing arm and also a tear in his thumb.
Just imagine
Yeah.
if something would have happened to Jimmy G getting hurt during this game.
Just
We get to Trey Lance.
kind of reminds yeah, Trey Lance. I mean, shoot, put in a fucking part of my language. Put in Mason Rudolph for all I care. No Trey Lance.
No.
I got you
Trey
there.
Lance is a lot better
Hey.
than Mason Rudolph.
We'll talk a lot about this tomorrow. Hey, couple other updating news really fast. They're reviving King of the Hill.
Really?
Hey, yo! I just
boy.
Titan just posted this out. Legendary cartoon King of the Hill is being revived. I'm interested to find that out because I loved King of the Hill. I just growing up, it was on after SmackDown pretty much. Also, quick thoughts. We will get into depth with this tomorrow, but I want your quick thoughts on this. Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, lights out match. I mean, they're getting Britt Baker involved. Oh my goodness!
They're getting Britt Baker, Chris Statlander
This got
involved.
personal.
Oh man, this is going to be something really, really awesome to see, especially with how much they've pretty much been building up Cole and Britt over like the last couple of weeks now. That her, quote unquote, joining the elite. I can honestly say this is what I'm ready. I'm excited for this match, but I'm also anticipating it to be a brutal match. Also, think about this though. Let's not forget, we also have title versus title in a ladder match. One of my favorite matches of all time. Sammy G taking on Cody Rhodes to be the true TNT champion. I am excited for this. I am very, very excited
Title
for
versus
this.
title, or for the title.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much to see who the true TNT champion is.
Did
You get what I'm
Sammy
saying?
Guevara somehow get another title?
Sorry, I still need
Well,
more Mountain Dew. So
you
my apologies
said-
for the. Don't
said
correct me
title
on this.
Let me save that.
Don't correct me. Don't correct me.
I'm
Pretty
just
much see who
asking.
the-
I mean, I just want to make sure. I just thought maybe I forgot something. I'm like, okay, did Sammy Guevara find another title? Did he like?
No.
Did he do like? Did he go buy one? Did he go buy a replica title
No.
so he could have one? I mean,
he
before
bought
that
one at a
something?
pawn shop. He bought one at a Las Vegas pawn shop.
Oh, okay.
But
He bought one at a thrift store.
At a what is it?
Swap meet.
Not
Swap
swap meet. It's a famous pawn shop in Las Vegas. It's on History
Oh,
Channel.
okay.
Down there with them.
Oh,
Pawn
what is
Farm.
it like the? I think it's yeah, but it's like things. It's called like the diamond something. I don't know. American Diamond Jewelry or something like that. I mean,
Yeah, something like
I
that.
don't
Either
know.
way, though, I mean, Guevara and Cody Rhodes to see who the true TNT champion is in this ladder match. I'm very excited to see it.
you know what's going to be even more excited? The fact that when Trey comes on tomorrow, and I know we'll talk about football,
Yeah.
Trey comes on tomorrow, we get to talk to him about wrestling. Because, I mean, another week, and he actually knows something about wrestling. I'm like, oh. Go back and rewatch NXT 2.0. Then that way we could actually break open conversations. All right, this is end of the day. Jake, phenomenal job today. Round of applause. Ooh. Hands down to you for the interview. Thank you, Amy, for coming on our show. Jake, you got to get back to work. You got to find another guest next week, hopefully. I know we got Chris Harris coming up next Thursday. We also got Juice coming up this Saturday. Trey will join us for a 3-day weekend. And until then, on behalf of Trey, Jake, and I, you guys have yourself a wonderful, fantastic Thursday. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See y'all.